What's going on, guys? Chuck and
Chris
here, and we just came out of seeing a very big movie. And first of all, I'm still getting over a cold, so I'm going to try and be able to speak without hacking up and dying. So
yeah.
If I look like I'm about to pass out, don't worry about it. Okay. I'm sure I survived long enough to post this. We're all right. We just saw The Godfather at the Historic Artcraft Theater here in Frankin in 35 millimeter.
Yeah.
And this was cool. I've seen it in theater before. Of course, I haven't seen it on 35 millimeter. It's always a digital copy or presentation. And this is Chris's very first time ever seeing it.
Fully.
Yeah. Did you even know?
What?
Did you even know anything about it at all? I mean,
not like much. Like the last time I really sat down for a moment and actually stuck with it was like I think when it was on on cable, I think.
Really?
Like on the TV upstairs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I stuck around for a little bit of the intro.
Huh. But basically, you really came in without any knowing it.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's a big part of pop culture. Now, granted, Chris knows pop culture, current pop culture.
Current, yeah, modern.
Yeah, stuff that, came from before him, it takes a while for so he doesn't, make him an offer he can't refuse. Take the gun, leave the cannoli, or leave the cannoli, take the cannoli, leave the gun.
Yeah.
Leave the gun, take the cannoli. All that kind of stuff. So here's really coming in as blind, which is really cool. And I also want to say, more impressive, he sat there the entire 3 hours without getting up once. Usually he gets up once. Every movie we go to, he gets up once during a very important exposition point where they're explaining a whole lot of plot. That's always when he gets and goes to the bathroom. And he didn't do that this time. He sat there the entire time. So, in order for me to stop talking so much so I can breathe, I'm going to turn it over to Chris and you tell me your initial impressions straight from the gate of seeing The Godfather.
Okay, well, first of all, this is a really good movie. I'll admit, if there was things that I was supposed to know and metaphors I was supposed to know, they probably just went over my head. And also because I just had it was a lot. I'll admit that.
Let me ask you, you came out and said you didn't understand a lot of it.
Yeah.
Now, when I asked that, or you say that, did you mean you didn't understand a lot of the dialogue or just the plot?
I understood most of the plot.
Okay.
I actually got an understanding, but dialogue-wise, it was kind of hard to understand.
Marlon Brando tough to understand sometimes?
Yeah.
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 It takes some getting used to. But you're able to follow, because there's a lot going on plot-wise.
Yeah.
And through all the different, events that happens, the war, and even the point where, really halfway through the movie, we go to a different movie.
Yeah.
In Sicily and all that. So, but you're able to pretty much stick with it all right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. But you really liked it.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad, because I wasn't sure. Kids today, old movies, you don't know what their attention span is like. But I'm glad he was, stuck, because it is a really engaging film. It still holds up very well. Mm-hmm. And you think that's good. Part 2 is even better. It's even longer.
Not great.
It has an intermission. But it is, it's considered the greatest sequel of all time. And it also won the Academy Award for Best Picture. So what are some things that stuck out for you in this movie?
Probably the turning over of the head of the family actually kind of surprised me, Michael's character in general.
The way you kind of just
being the soft-spoken person to growing more and more character, more broad.
Becoming the Godfather, going from not wanting anything to do with the business, basically becoming the Godfather. That's a great major arc for him, which is explored even more so in Godfather Part 2. But you like the whole climax, the killing of the 5 families and all that. Yeah, that's a very intense move, especially against the baptism, seeing all that and great, denouncing Satan and all that while everybody being blown away. That's pretty cool. Anything else that sticks out with you?
Actually, some of the deaths actually surprised me.
Like just weren't expecting these people to die.
Sonny and can't remember Michael's wife's name.
Apollonia.
Yeah, Apollonia.
Yeah, that's and that'll come back. I think in Part 2. Flying. Fabrizi, I think it was his bodyguard that wanted to betray him. And that's the thing. You watch this movie. You realize you can't trust anybody. Everybody's there's something going on. And I said, I'm glad you're able to kind of follow along, because the first time I saw Godfather, I saw it really probably not the best way you want to see it. Me and Aunt Beth, we rented the VHS. It's called Godfather: The Complete Novel. And this is a made-for-television version where they put Godfather 1 and 2 together and they edit it in chronological order. Because Godfather Part 2, like I said, it tells two different stories. It's telling the beginnings of Vito Corleone as a child growing up in Sicily and how he became the Godfather. At the same time, it's telling the story of Michael Corleone and present day and how they're past, kind of, parallel each other.
Yeah.
So in this made-for-television novel, they take all that stuff in Part 2, put it at the beginning, and it's all edited in chronological order. So that's the first time I saw The Godfather.
Wow.
So when I went back and actually watched it, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Where's all the stuff from the first part? Where's all the stuff for Vito's little bullet? Where's Robert De Niro? So yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's a really, and there's like, so that was also an extended cut because there's more scenes in that version that are showing a lot of deleted scenes and extended versions of The Godfather. Of course, there's television versions, they're just that itself. And I always remember when I was a kid, The Godfather being on TV, and Mom wouldn't let me watch it. It's like, oh, it's just too violent, which is crazy because Mom will let me watch pretty much anything.
Yeah.
But all that's just too violent. I mean, it's not. I mean, it is, but it's not.
Yeah. Explosions, guns.
I mean,
blah, but,
for early '80s when I get it, but it's pretty tame now. Although there's some great. The deaths are good.
Yeah.
I mean, they really stick with you. I mean, there's some great things. You get stuff. The Luca Brasi death, the bulging eyes, and Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes. Did you get that?
Actually, no.
Okay, they had a fish in his bulletproof vest.
Right.
And when after they killed Luca Brasi, they sent it to Sonny, and that's what they're saying. It's a Sicilian message.
Oh.
Luca Brasi sleeps means he's dead. He's thrown in the lake. He's wiped out. He's gone.
Right.
Stuff like go to the mattresses. That means they're going to war. The mattresses are going to hole up in these little or warehouses or whatever. And that's why everybody's going to sleep here while they're at war instead of living in their homes. Right. That kind of thing. Another thing I realized too watching this movie is it makes me hungry.
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola, I listened to the commentary on this years ago, and there's a scene where Clemens is making this big dish, and he's telling Michael how to do whatever he's the recipe for that. And Francis Ford Coppola had said that's something he likes to do in all his movies, is put in some kind of food recipes. He uses Italian guys who likes to cook, and there's a lot of food in this movie that makes you really hungry. I love Italian food too, so this.
Great.
Did you learn any Italian while you were watching the movie? Because they spoke a lot of Italian without subtitles.
I'm learning Spanish too, so the only parts I really understood were when the words intermixed with Spanish.
Yeah, someone's because there were certain like when
which makes sense. They're both romance languages.
Yeah, when I think Salazzo and Michael were talking in the diner or the restaurant, and he was speaking in Italian without the subtitles, but I could still kind of understand. He was basically saying, what happened to your dad was business, wasn't personal. I have great respect for your father. That's as far as I got. Because the words I picked out, I can understand what he was saying. But it's cool.
Business.
Yes. So overall, are you happy you saw it?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, I'm glad I could culture you. That's very important because I said this is considered one of the in the top 10, maybe top 5. Maybe top 2 greatest films of all time. It's ranks very highly on the list. Actually, I probably only Godfather Part 2 is considered better. Like I said, and it is a really good movie. Also, so okay. Well, with that, we will leave it there. After another rainy night here at the Artcraft.
Yeah,
I managed to get through this without choking and dying, so that's good. As I say that, I'm about to start. So we're gonna wrap this up. So from the Artcraft, after seeing The Godfather. This is Chuck and
Chris,
and we will see you on the other side.
Now, don't die right now.
I'm going to try not to.